Hey guys, welcome to the Jetty Jet Show. Today we will be working on some poses from some characters that I've been working on for a novel called Element Princess. And I thought I'd take this opportunity because I'll be working on some poses to teach you guys how I would go about building some basic poses. Now I've done some dynamic posing, but it was kind of quick, so I'll try to make this more like beginner friendly. But first let's do a little quick introduction of the novel or the project that I've been working on. Let's see, I've been working on this for a couple months now, but this would be some characters from the first novel. It's not a manga, it's a novel, and it's just really, it's anime themed, so this is the cover for it, first novel and second novel. So the story, the novel is completely written, and I just need to produce the artwork for it basically. Alright, as you guys may have already noticed, I like to use Manga Studio when I sketch and make lines and stuff. So when you're opening your file, you want to start off with something like around 72 DPI, and the Manga Studio setup will already have your blank paper underneath and a transparent above it. So you're going to be working on the transparent layer. Let's start with a quick description of the character. Okay, so Mary has black spandex, one piece. The outfit is long sleeves that reach her wrist. Single large circle reveals both of her shoulders. She wears black flat boots that reach the bottom of her knees. 3 silver buckles are on the outside of the boots, and it zips on the inside. On the breastbone, a water sign shines gold. These are not my drawings, just some pictures online to help describe the characters a little better. So we have Mary here. She's a water element. She's 16 years old. She has black hair, black eyes. Now what we're concerned with right now is her characteristics. Does not cuss much, is scary when pissed, does not join clubs for sisters' benefit, curious about the world, overly caring, sort of boring and smart, was once on the supernatural, has a Mary's knowledge moment when she informs the group of something she learned, does not make choices alone. So her personality will guide me in the pose, not so much in the features of her face and stuff, because we've already got that created. This would be Mary here, the final Mary. This is kind of the design that I had for reference, and this is what we came up with. Understanding her characteristics and personality is really important when you're trying to figure out what kind of pose she would get into. So a basic way of building your poses is starting with that line, and a box for the head and a box for the chest. And if you guys are not familiar with this type of figure, be sure to watch the figure drawing videos because I break down all of this stuff thoroughly. So I'm using stick figure, literally sticks, to build the arms. So I got the general placement of the bones here, just like how we described in the breakdown, and modify it a little bit. So keep the lines general. It doesn't have to be exactly 2 heads long each segment. So from there you can try to do another one. So line. This one here I want to make her kind of arch back a little bit, so I'm going to tilt that box. Right now I'm breaking a lot of the rules that we established before by going beyond the division lines, because the characters are not quite 8 heads. Since they're more anime proportions, they're going to be like more 7.5. And again, you want to just play with it right now. Don't get so caught up with, is it perfectly, like a head tall and the knees, lines up here. Just play with it for now. You can always go back and try to match them up and make it more accurate. To do that, you just break it up like this and just kind of feel how far apart these lines are. In any direction you could kind of guess how many heads apart, and that's kind of how you figure out whether or not you're staying within general proportions. Even the arms bent, I know they're within kind of the same length. Now I want to make sure her chest shows, because there's going to be her symbol right there in the middle of her chest. See, as you can see, it's really pixelated, but that serves a purpose because it's a lot faster, a lot smoother feeling. So there, I just used my eraser to build the ribs. Now, how am I gonna find out where her other hand is? There, this dark color. Wow. And of course, we gotta flip the picture to kind of catch our mistakes, because we're always drawing with one side of our brain. Finding the center lines will always help you with your pose and getting the proportions and angles and directions of your drawing. Finding the center line of her head here, the center line of her chest here, even all the way down to her crotch area. See? This leg's the center, this is the center. Now I just duplicated this because that saves time in our design. If we liked something about this drawing, maybe we can improve it a little bit by copying it and then modifying it. Instead of changing the whole entire thing, you like some of the parts about it, but maybe some things you want to modify. So kind of a floating back kind of pose. So for the feet, I'll just do these circular shapes here. This is a great exercise to do for improving your poses. Just stick to one thing at a time. And right now we're working on skeletons, and we'll add flesh in our next exercise. Let's start with that line. And again, that line is really there to just help us find where the center of our body is. So don't let the line restrict you from breaking it. You know what I mean? If you're over here with the head, come back down through the middle, like this, and it's still the center, but it's not straight anymore. It has to be, curved. I want to do something more dynamic. I want her hands up so that I can put her into like a fighting pose. Not a fighting pose, but a summoning pose. Like she's summoning. And it doesn't hurt to use references. I know I'm not looking at anything right now. But let's take a look at our first reference here. See how she has her body twisted this way and that way? That's really nice. So let's try something like that. But just to break down what I just did here, I was able to get the gesture down as quickly as I could. So box for the chest, box for the head, line for the hips, come up with the thigh to the shin, thigh to shin. This foot will be pointing this way. This foot will be pushing this way. This is what happens when I don't draw the pelvis here like this first. They extend out just like this from in our exercises. And this one goes from behind. So erasing this out. Now we need to define our center lines. So center line here, center line here. What if we came down here like this? Alright, Command E, and it drops the layers on top of each other. Before they're on separate layers. So every time you're copying something, it creates a new layer. Alright, don't be discouraged, you guys. It's gonna be a little hard at first. My first time, oh my goodness. I swear to you, it looked like this. Alright, this is the head, body. This is a kind of common. So I'm gonna stop here, but check out part 2 of the video for the rest of the poses. I'll be going more in depth, the poses will be a bit more complicated, and we'll begin adding muscles. And I'll show you my very simple technique for how I do that. I'm Jet, your host. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Peace.